Okay, we are going to read The Dishonest Merchant. Number 1. Once upon a time, a prince known for his intolerance of dishonesty ruled in Romania. During his reign, a greedy merchant from another country traveled through the land. I'm just going to underline some important words in here. So it's a prince, not a king, and he is intolerant to dishonesty, so he should be very, very, very honest. Number 2, during one journey, the merchant lost a bag containing 1,000 remaining crowns gold lei. Each time the merchant came to a crossroads, he told everyone that he will give 100 lei to anyone who will found the money. Number 3, not long afterward, a peasant found the bag. Ooh, he was an honest man, and he hastened to find the merchant. Okay, I'm gonna underline some important things in here. So, what happened first was that this merchant lost a bag containing 1,000 Romanian coins called Li, and he offered a reward. Let me go and check. Um, 100 Li to anyone who found the money. This is the reward. I'm gonna write it down. And also, here we go. An honest man found it. Hmm? Let me continue reading. I found this bag behind the fish market at the crossroads near my home, the peasant said to the merchant. Also, he's giving back the money. So I'm going to put a check mark. He's doing something right. And I think there's a little bit foreshadowing over here in this part because remember, they're in a land that is ruled by a prince who is intolerant to dishonesty. So let's see what happens. Number 5, the merchant trusted no one, so he went aside to count the money. To his surprise, all 1,000 coins were still in the bag. He was happy to have his money back, but he was also saddened by the thought of giving some of it away. Well, he had to, right? He wondered how he could get out of his promise and still appear to be fair. This is the problem. Here we go. I'm going to put a star. So he's trying to get away with it. Number 6. At last, he went back to the peasant. I thank you for returning my money, he said. I noticed that you have already taken your reward. Oh my God, he's lying. For there were only 900 coins in the bag. Oh my God, there's a lie in there. Lie. So he's trying to get away with it. The peasant protested. But I did not even open the bag before I gave it to you. This is true. Number 8. The merchant ignored the peasant's words. I hope you enjoyed your reward, he said. Thank you again and goodbye. He quickly departed. There's a question in here because it's underlined, they're gonna ask me that. So if he says thank you and goodbye, what did he do next? He left, right? Departed means to leave. Number 9. The peasant was upset, not just because he had received no reward, but because he had been accused of taking money without permission. I remember he's very honest. So he hurried to the place and requested to see the prince. Oh my God, this is where this character starts appearing. And we have some background knowledge on him. We know that he's very, very tolerant if someone is dishonest. So he told his sad story, and the prince promised that he would uncover the truth. Ooh. Number 10. The prince sent word for the merchant. That means that I'm going to underline that. Send word for the merchant means that he sent someone to call him. And the peasant, both of them, to appear before him on a certain day. He told the merchant to bring the bag of money. Okay, so he's going to take care of the problem. Number 11. When the day arrived, the merchant told his side of the story, and the peasant told his. As the prince listened, it became obvious to him that the peasant was telling the truth. I wonder, it became obvious to him that the peasant was telling the truth. Number 12. When they had finished, the prince said to the merchant, You lost a bag with 1,000 coins. Is that correct? Oh, that sounds like when the teacher's, asking me questions. Number 13. Yes, said the merchant. Number 14. The prince took the money back, which now held only 900 lei. Yeah, he took away the other 100. Ooh, I think I made an inference. I'm going to write down INF. Obviously, very easy. And when you were handed this bag, it contained only 900 coins. He wants to make sure. And this little picture here, there's a drawing, shows me the characters. Number 15. That's true, said the merchant, trying to look sincere. I'm going to underline that. This is a good detail. 16. I'm sure that you're telling the truth, said the prince. For nothing is punished so severely in this court as dishonesty. However, these facts present me with a problem. Wow. 17. The prince held up the bag for all to see. It was an ordinary leather bag, like thousands of others. He asked the merchant, If your bag contained 1,000 coins and this bag has only 900, then how do you know this is your bag? How clever. Can you see? He's saying, maybe this is not yours because yours had 100. No, wait. Yeah. Yours had 1,000 and this one doesn't have 1,000. Maybe this is not your bag. Ah, the prince is clever. We're here. Number 18. The merchant had trouble speaking. He stammered. Then he was silent. Number 19. The prince continued. It is obvious that this is not your bag. My verdict, therefore, is that you should continue to inquire at the crossroads until you find your bag with 1,000 lei. I wish you well in your quest. Oh my God! Yay! Number 20. The prince turned to the peasant, and I decree that you take care of this bag of 900 coins until the rightful owner comes forth. If we do not find the owner within 3 months, guess what? Then the money will be yours as a reward for your honesty. This is a happy ending. 21. There was nothing more to say, since there could be no appeal regarding the prince's verdict. I don't know what appeal is, but I guess if it should mean something like they couldn't argue, they couldn't say anything back to the prince, whatever the prince said, that was final. Then it says, the dishonest merchant and the honest peasant left the prince's chamber. The first very sad, and the other one very, very happy. Thus was dishonesty treated in the days of the prince. I like this story. Okay, guys, in the exam, you're going to have something called paired passages. That is just that you're going to have two different kinds of texts that you're going to be reading together, back to back, and you're going to be asking lots of questions about those. So when I turn the page and I see another passage, I'm going to start thinking, what do they have in common? And what are the things that are different? In this case, we had like a story, right? A fantasy story, and this one it looks like a poem. So this is our case right now. But in the exam, you can have another thing. Maybe you can have like a play with a biography. Why not? Or maybe you have an article, a newspaper article with something very scientific, very informational. Or maybe you have a poem with a legend or something like that. So there are going to be two different kinds of texts with different characteristics, and your job, before you even read the questions or anything, your job is to see as you read the second one how this one connects to the one that I have already read. So if I read the title here, guilty, there you go. This is how it connects. Because in the first one, we were talking about honesty, and someone was very, very, very dishonest, which is the opposite. And he didn't get away with it. Justice was made, so to speak. So we have guilty, and that's how the prince charged the merchant for being dishonest. He was guilty, right? So I'm going to read that poem. We have, it's not fair. My little sister glows. She has a reputation that reaches out to others, shakes her hand and lets them know she can do no wrong. What do I understand from here? This is a question that you have to ask yourself once you read the first verse or stanza. So we're talking about a little sister. Glows. We're talking, do you remember this? This is figurative language. We have different kinds of figurative language. We have simile, metaphor, alliteration, personification, hyperbole, and onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia are sounds. Is sounds, I'm sorry. So we're talking about a little sister that glows. Okay, when something glows, I think it refers to that shines or is happy. I'm gonna write down that word in here. So the little sister is very happy. She has a reputation that reaches out to others. Like everybody knows her. Everybody knows her. Shakes her hand and lets them know she can do no wrong. She can do no wrong is like she's an angel. I'm gonna draw the halo here in the little girl's face. I'm doing a little visualization here. So we're talking about a little girl that behaves like an angel. My angel is horrible, by the way, and everybody knows her. I wonder if the person saying this poem is maybe a big brother or a big sister. Do you have big brothers or big sisters? Can you connect to this? Let's see. I told them, mom and dad both, that she took it from the pan. Okay, this is what she did. We don't know what it means. She took something. That she took it from the pan when they noticed the void. Okay, if she took it, right now is empty, no? Empty. So void means empty. Like a pothole in the middle of the street. There you go. One cookie gone. Ah, she took cookies. One cookie gone from the cookie sheet. My father shook his head at me. My mother gave her a hug. This means they didn't believe the big brother or sister. We don't know if it's a boy or girl, but so that girl won. That little girl won. Number 14 will be, so you have, this is the third one, the third stanza. Remember, these are called stanzas. My God, the handwriting. Okay. They sent her off to play, to enjoy the day. My free time was taken away, sent to my room to stay. They punished the boy or girl. 20. I felt frustrated with her frowns. Why was she always blameless? Blameless. I know the suffix less, which means without blame. I thought while mom wiped my hands with a wet paper towel, browning with each steak from chocolate on my fingertips. I'm sorry, browning with each stroke. I went back because it didn't make sense. So browning with each stroke from chocolate on my fingers. Okay, if that person that is talking has chocolate on the fingertips, what happened? Can you make an inference? Who took the cookie? I stomped to my room, my feet crashing like thunder. It's not fair. Okay, but who's guilty according to the poem? Can we infer who the guilty person is? All right, so let's go to the questions. Okay, so when we have two passages that we're reading together to find the way that they connect and how they are different, they're gonna ask us a series of questions. But I will tell us always what passage we have to go back to. Okay? So it says use dishonest merchant, which is the first one we read together, to answer the following question. So I'm going to use the dishonest merchant, the story. Number 18. Why does the peasant want to meet with the prince? Before I read my answer choices, I need to remember. Why does the peasant want to meet with the prince? If I remember the story, he didn't agree. Well, he was upset because the merchants implied that he stole money, right? Because he said, well, you already took your reward. Thank you so much. Goodbye. Have a good day. And then he was like, no, this is not okay. So I remember that he was, looking for the prince, and he wanted to tell the prince what happened because I guess he knew that the prince was super, super honest. Now that I recalled, I can read my answer choices. So I have the first one. To help the merchant find his bag. Find his bag? No, the prince is not going to help the merchant find the bag. Letter G. Because the merchant implies that the peasant is a thief. That could be because he did. Let me continue reading the other ones. To convince the prince to let him keep all the merchant's money. This is not true. He didn't want that. That was not what he was looking for. He just wanted some justice, but he never asked to keep all the money. Letter J. Because the prince calls for the peasant to appear before him. That couldn't have happened. Right? This is incorrect. I mean, the prince called the peasant after the peasant explained to the prince everything that happened. Then he sent for him and the other guy, the merchant. Hey, you know what? I already found my correct answer. And I'm going to put a little circle here because I'm super sure. So I can count all the dots at the end to make sure that I have enough to pass the test. 19. Which sentence from the story hints? Hints. It's a clue. Which sentence from the story hints that the merchant plans to trick the peasant? How does the author let me know that the merchant is planning something that is not okay? Here we go. Let me think if I don't remember. If I don't recall, I need to go back and check. But I remember that the peasant was very happy when he received the bag, and then he didn't trust the peasant, and then the merchant went back or someplace else to count the money, and then he was sad because he didn't want to give money away. So that's my clue, right? Okay. Now I can read my answer choices. I have number 19, letter A. Each time the merchant came to a crossroads, he told everyone that he will give 100 lei to anyone who found the money. This is not true because this is a time where he didn't have the bag. So, no. That was almost at the beginning of the story. Letter B. The merchant trusted no one, so he went aside to count the money. Well, letter B lets me know the merchant, it's very weird. I mean, he doesn't trust anyone, like it says in there. Doesn't say or implies that he wants to trick the peasant. So, I don't know. I don't think so. So I'm just going to put a cross in there. Letter C. To his surprise, all 1,000 coins were still in the bag. No, he's surprised. It has nothing to do with tricking the other person. Letter D. He wondered how he could get out of his promise. Oh, he could get out of his promise and still appear to be fair. This is how he was starting to plan how to trick the other guy. Okay, let's move on. Question 20. Which word or words from paragraph 8? This is a clue for me. Word or words from paragraph 8. So I need to go back to paragraph 8. Help the reader understand the meaning of the word deportant. They're not asking me what deported means. They're asking me for words in the paragraph that are clues to understanding the word deported. So let's find out. Okay, you guys, as you can see, I went back to the story where the word is underlined. And I'm just going to reread it again just to make sure. I have an idea, but I want to make sure. The merchant ignored the peasant's words and he says, I hope you enjoy your reward. He said, thank you again and goodbye. He quickly departed. And then I wrote down the word left. How do I know that he left? What did he say to make me think that? Okay, so what did he say to make me think that he left? Hope you enjoy your reward? No. Ignore the peasant's words? No. Thank you again? No, because he's just me saying thank you. Goodbye. Yes, because when you say goodbye, you go away. You're leaving. It's a way to say farewell, right? Okay, this question you will always see. So you have to be very good at this. And we are going to use our strategy. Very important part. Okay? And it must have all the very important parts from the beginning, the middle, and the end. And I have to read very carefully. If you get tired, read the first choice, think about it, close your eyes for a few seconds, and then you move on. Don't try to read everything at the same time because then you're going to get tired. Okay? So you pace yourself, and let's start. 8. A peasant finds a bag of money. Hey, something's missing in there. How can he find the bag of money? We need to know that someone lost it, right? I think this is not the beginning. It's missing a very important part. It's missing the part where we know and we learned that the prince is very, 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 very honest. And a merchant lost a bag of money. I don't think letter A is correct. I'm just going to finish reading it, but I don't think it's correct. A peasant finds a bag of money behind a fish market and returns to a merchant for a reward. The merchant refuses to pay the reward. The peasant goes to the prince and tells the story. The merchant also tells his story. The bag is supposed to have 1,000 coins, but has only 900. The prince listens to both the peasant and the merchant. Hey, it doesn't have the ending. No beginning and no ending. So this is wrong. No beginning and no ending. Okay, I'm going to read letter B. I'm going to close my eyes, I rest a little bit, and then I'm going to continue reading letter B. After losing a bag of money, a merchant, this is good, has beginning. A merchant promises a reward of 100 coins for its return. When the bag is returned by a peasant, the merchant tries to avoid paying the reward by saying that the peasant took some of the money. Oh, everything so far is very good. It has a beginning, the very important part of the beginning, and the middle. Let me keep reading. They both go before a Romanian prince, which is our prince, right? The prince uses the merchant's statements against him to reward the peasant. Nice. It has all the important parts. This one sounds like it. but I cannot move on until I am 100% sure. I'm just going to read the other ones just to make sure. Letter C. One day, a Romanian prince asks a peasant and a merchant to appear in his chambers to talk about a bag of money. Guys, this is the ending. So this can't be. Check. It says, the merchant says a peasant took some money out of the bag. The prince can't tell that the merchant is greedy. He holds up the money bag. It is made of leather. It gives me a lot of details. It's not giving me the very important parts, the VIPs. It is made of leather, just like other money bags. The prince says the bag does not belong to the merchant. It's not giving me the beginning or the middle, and it's giving lots of details that I don't need. Letter C is totally wrong. Letter D. A merchant travels to Romania where he loses a bag of money. So far, so good. He says that he will give 100 coins to the person who finds it. So far, so good. A peasant finds the bag and returns it to the merchant. The merchant tells the peasant that the bag is missing the reward money. The peasant says that he did not take any money out of the bag. Guys, this one right here is repeating. Let me show you. This part right here with this part right here is the exact same idea. So we have detail over detail. It says, the peasant says that he did not take any money out of the bag. The prince gives the bag of money to the peasant. So be very careful, guys. This one actually, that letter D is a distractor. You may think this is the correct one, but I already showed you that it gives you detail over detail. Because it does have beginning, it does have the middle, right? Where it says that he finds the bag and returns to the merchant. And then we have the detail over detail. This is a distractor. You have to be very careful. This is a perfect one. This is a perfect one. Letter B. Okay, this is a pair passage, so I know that they're going to tell me when to go back to a different story. So we're going to use Guilty, which is a poem. It was very nice. Remember the little boy or girl who was accusing the little sister of taking a cookie out of the cookie tray or cookie tree? The cookie sheet. And mommy's saying, like, no, I don't believe you, and cleaning his hands that are full of chocolate. Remember that? Okay, so this is what you do in the real test. Go back and think, what did I read? If I can't remember, I'm not going to read the questions. I'm just going to go back and take a look at my notes, and then I am going to start reading the questions so I can start fresh. Question 22. Based on the poem, what can the reader conclude about the speaker's past behavior? The speaker, not the little girls. Be very careful. The little girl is not the speaker. I'm sorry, the reader. What can the reader conclude about the speakers? Here we go. The speaker's past behavior. So I'm going to think that he was accusing the little sister, and mom and dad were like not nodding. They were like, we don't believe you. So what kind of people you don't usually believe? Well, the ones that always lie, right? Okay, so I'm ready. Letter F. The speaker usually acts in a way that pleases the parents. This is like they make the parents happy? Really? I don't think so. I don't think this is the case because they don't believe him. Letter G. The speaker has tried a similar approach to get out of trouble before. I mean, this is that he has lied before. He has accused the little sister of doing something she didn't do. And he was like, yeah, it was my little sister. And then his, hands filled with chocolate. So I think this is the right one. Let's read the other ones. The speaker defends the little sister. No, he doesn't defend the little sister. He's accusing her. Letter J. The speaker has difficulty remember. Oh my goodness. Difficult to remember the family rules. No, I don't think so. We have found our correct answer. Very easy. Little dot, I'm so sure. 23. Why does a poem begin and end with the same line? Oh, I must be able to understand what they are asking me. Let's go back because I don't remember the line. Okay, this is the line. The boy is saying, "It's not fair." If you have brothers or sisters and you argue, I'm sure you're using this a lot. It's not fair. All right, so let's go back to the question. Okay, so let's see. To emphasize the speaker's feelings about the situation, when you're saying it's not fair, you're actually expressing your feelings. So I'm just going to put a dot of maybe. There you go. Letter B. To foreshadow a problem that the speaker has. When you say it's not fair, you're expressing like, no, you're upset. I don't think there's foreshadowing in there. Letter C. To show the frustration of the speaker's family members. Be very careful. It does show frustration, but not moms and dads, right? This is totally wrong. Read carefully. Letter G. To highlight a chance in the way the speaker feels about the little sister. Chance? Ah, no, I'm sorry. I'm reading it wrong. To highlight a change. When you say it's not fair, you don't there's no change coming. Is he changing his feelings towards the sister? No. This is our correct answer, the first one. Little dot. It's not fair. He's just expressing his feelings. Okay. And it says, read the lines from the poem. Please read them again. They place them there for a reason. My father shook his head at me. Oh, he's saying no, right? My mother gave her a hug. Oh. These two lines reveal that the speaker's parents, before I read the choices, I can infer that they do not believe the speaker, the little boy or girl, I don't know, the speaker. So let's see. Can't be easily tricked by their children? No. They believe they know the truth about what happened? Oh, yes, I think so. Letter H. And they are surprised that a cook is missing? No, they're not surprised that a cook is missing. And letter J. They are glad to see their children? Well, at least one of them, but not both. So I think we found our answer. This is actually pretty easy. They know the truth. They didn't have to say anything. They know. They know that it was not the little girl. So mom gave her a hug. Okay, guys, so if you're a little bit tired, close your eyes. You know that the third part is coming, which is questions about how these two passages are the same and how they are different. Okay? So I can think, well, we have like a story and then we have a poem, so that's a difference, the different kind of genre, totally. So I'm going to start. Question 25. How are the merchant and the dishonest merchant and the speaker in guilty similar? I know. I'm not going to read the choices. I'm going to think. I'm going to think first. So I know the merchant told a lie. And I know the speaker also told a lie because mommy was cleaning his hands and he had the hands full of chocolate from the chocolate cookie. So they were both lying. Now that I know, I can read the choices, okay? Both of them are disappointed in themselves for what they did. I don't think so. They didn't show regret. We don't know. I mean, maybe afterwards, but we don't know. They didn't show any regret. They were not disappointed. They were mad. No. Letter B. Both of them are confused about why they have been punished. No, they know they know for sure. So this is no. Letter C. Both of them try to blame others in order to get what they want. This one sounds like it. The merchant was blaming. The merchant was blaming the peasant. And the little boy was blaming his little sister, the little girl. Both of them are forced to keep their promises. No, this is not true. I found my answer. Here we go. A little dot. This is so easy. 26. The actions of the prince in the story and the parents in the poem are based on, oh, the prince knew the truth, right? Parents knew the truth. They didn't believe the people that was lying. So now that I have thought about it, I can read the choices. So the prince and the parents, how do they act? With fairness? That sounds good, right? With courage? No. Loyalty? No. Kindness? No. They were fair. They both, right? All of them were fair. That's a correct answer. Fairness. Because at the end, everyone got what they received in both. What I meant before is that everybody got what they deserved. Okay, so let's continue. 27. How is the point of view in the poem different from that of the story? I'm going to think first. Okay. The story was told by a narrator, and the poem was told by the boy who actually ate the cookie. Now I can read the answer choices. A. Only the poem focuses on the thoughts of just one character. This is true. Just the boy. Well, I'm assuming it's a boy. Let me continue reading. Letter B. Only the poem describes the motivation of a main character. No. You know why? Because in the poem, we know that he ate the cookie. And in the story, we know that the merchant didn't want to share the money or give money away or fulfill his promise. So, no, in both of them, we know what's going on. Letter C. On the poem, only the poem shows the actions of just one character. Let me think about it. Only the poem shows the actions of just one character. You know what? In the poem, I'm going to write it here because I need to visualize it. In the poem, I know what the boy did. I know what the girl did. I know what mom did. Mom cleaned up his hands, gave the little sister a hug, and dad was a little bit mad. In the poem, I know 4 characters' actions, not just one. So this is wrong. Okay. Letter D. Only the poem explains how each character becomes involved in the situation. Oh, let me think about that. Only the poem explains how each character becomes involved in the situation. No. You know why? Because not only in the poem, in the story, we know how everybody got involved. In the story, too. We know how everyone got involved in there, the prince and peasant. So letter G is wrong. Let me go back to letter A. Only the poem focuses on the thoughts of just one character. This is true. We know only the thoughts of the little boy. And the last one. How are the prince in the story and the speaker's parents? Oh, I'm reading the same one, aren't I? Okay, so we know that for 28. Ah, no, 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 wait, it's a different question. How are the prince in the story and the speaker's parents in the poem alike? Oh, we're comparing the prince and the parents. And I'm sorry, I got confused. In the other question, we said that they were fair, right? I'm just going to recall what I answered in the other one. How are they alike? Is the same. Letter F. They know the people they speak with? I don't think so. Letter J. I'm sorry, G. They realize who is at fault. This one sounds like it. The prince knew right away who was lying, and mom knew right away who was lying. Letter H. They find a clever way to solve the problem. You know what? This is a distractor because the parents didn't solve the problem. There was no problem to be solved. And letter J, they are asked to help other people. No, no, no. This is a distractor. Be very careful. Okay? The only one who found a clever way was a prince, not mom and dad in the poem. This is the correct answer.